Hello everyone and welcome back to the Don't Kale My Vibe gardening channel. Today I'm going to take you guys outside and show you my garden and what it looks like in January when there are no plants in it. If you've watched my June 2022 garden tour, you kind of have an idea of what my garden already looks like, but I want to talk about what I still have yet to do. There's a couple garden beds I'm going to be expanding. There's a new garden bed I still have to set up, and we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to take you guys outside to do so. But first I wanted to talk about something that I am starting today and something we're going to start together, and that is chamomile. I looked at my chamomile seed packets and saw that they take 120 days from seed to plant, which means they will not be ready until mid-May, which means if I want some chamomile flowers in the spring, I have to start them now. So that's something that we have to do today. I also have a couple little landscaping projects we're going to be working on, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. All right, everybody, welcome to my garden. As you can see, it is very much empty since it is January. The only thing that I currently have out here is my garlic, which I'm usually growing under a grow light on my shelves, but it's getting very tall and it was sunny, so I put it outside for the breeze. Here we have my garden beds. These are my wooden garden beds. I am very fond of these. I think they look very nice. I'm actually going to be placing a fourth garden bed over here. It's a nice sunny spot. I already have it in my shed, so we're going to set that up together. I also have this very nice galvanized planter box here that I grew blueberries in over the summer, and this is my pumpkin patch, my pride and joy. I love it. I'm going to be expanding it out this year with my tiller, so as you can see, I'm outlining the spot that I'm going to have to grow in this next year. Over here, I actually had a kiddie pool over the summer. You can kind of see the outline of it, but I killed the grass and decided to just go with it, and I'm going to be adding a new little planting area right here. So one of the projects that I have today is actually doing a little bit of landscaping. As you can see, I have these strips of grass in between my growing beds. I tried to space out the beds so that way my lawnmower can fit easily in between them, but I found over the summer it actually is quite difficult because I have an electric mower, and so when there's plants and there's trellises in the garden beds, it's really difficult to not get the cord tangled around them. So I actually purchased these. These are little tarps that I got off of Line, and I'm not sure how big these are, so I'm not sure if they're even going to fit at this point, but I'm going to be placing them in between the garden beds and weighing them down with rocks, so that way over the rest of winter the grass hopefully underneath them will die, and then over the summer I'm going to actually buy pebbles or something, some sort of mulch, and mulch over the top of them, so that way nothing grows in between my garden beds anymore and I no longer have to mow. Alright, that's as good as it's gonna get. The width was perfect, the length was a little bit off, but I don't mind if I just have to mow just a tiny little section. Plus I have a tiller this year, so I can actually pull up some of this easily if I want to expand it all the way. And now we actually get to plant something together. So I'm taking some potting mix and I'm putting this in an old kitty litter pan. This is just super easy for me to do and keep it contained. Adding some water, not making it muddy, but mixing it just enough so that way it is damp. Today I'm going to be using these little plastic planters to grow my chamomile in, but a cheaper alternative is actually using things that you have around your kitchen. These are little snack cups that I rinsed out, and if I just put drainage holes in the bottoms of them, they do basically the same thing. So right now I'm just adding dirt to the little planters, pretty much the same way you would start any plant. And these are my chamomile seeds that I'm going to be using today. These are from Burpee. I don't have any preference on what kind of seeds that I'm going to be using, but I just want to show you guys how teeny tiny chamomile seeds are. They are so small. I was afraid they were going to blow away if I didn't hold my hand back there. A little bit out of focus, but as you can see, they are just so small. Because the seeds are so small, you actually can't really place them one at a time, so I'm just taking a little sprinkling and putting them over the top of the soil. This is one of those seeds that needs sunlight to germinate, so instead of actually putting dirt over the top of these, I'm just going to gently take my finger and press them into the soil. So they aren't going into the soil like being covered over the top, they're just being placed so that way they can form roots and go downward. And since my hands were already dirty, I decided to take this time to repot some of the lettuce that I had growing in my room. As you can see, the roots have already outgrown the small planter that I had for my romaine lettuce. And then I also had this loose leaf blend that had a very small container, and I decided to move it over to these two planters here. Repotting is pretty simple. You want to make sure there's a divot the size of the plant that you currently have. So this is the small container that I have with the loose leaf in it, and very carefully I'm just pressing the soil out of the block like this and keeping the roots intact and trying to be as gentle as possible with the plant itself, so that way I can carefully put it into the hole that I have in the new planter, and I just press along the edges here and make sure that the plant is comfy in its new home. And then I did the exact same thing with the romaine. I used the actual cup to make a little bit of a stencil so I would know how much space I needed to put in the plant, but here they are in their new pots. Welcome to your new home, romaine. And now we are back inside. It is actually crazy windy out right now. It is 62 degrees, so it's very nice, but very windy. So now that we're inside, I want to actually give you an update on my little lettuce cart that I have. I started a couple new things, a couple things are sprouting, and I just wanted to give you an overall update of everything I'm growing inside. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet since I've already told you most everything that I'm growing over here, but I did start a couple new things, and some things are growing after I had just planted them. So we have the arugula that's doing really well over here. The bunching onions in the last video that I had just started are actually starting to grow now. I don't know if you could see, but there's two tiny little bunching onions right here. I think I did 4 holes in this planter, so there should be like 2 seeds per each hole, and they are just now starting to emerge. The cilantro was taking its sweet time, but now I have a plant in each planter over here. This is the chamomile we started together today. I started 4 more loose leaf lettuce blends right here. I want to stagger my lettuce so that way as I eat it, I will always have more. So I will eat the lettuce and then there'll be more growing in like a couple weeks. So just a week's difference will be all I need to have lettuce pretty much up until the spring growing season. So I have 3 bib lettuces here. They're doing really well. These are 3 chamomile plants that I started without you guys just yesterday, and then I also have the ones we started today. So they should be growing around the same rate. This is alyssum, just another white flower. This takes 50 days to grow, whereas the chamomile takes 120. I kind of just planted that for fun. There's no real reason that I have this planted inside right now. And then over here we have the loose leaf lettuce blend that we repotted today. And then we have my growing shelves over here, which have the romaine that we repotted today. Sorry, I'm stuttering over my words. The romaine, these should be there forever homes now, unless I decide to put them out in the growing beds in the springtime. And then we also have these 2 lettuce. These were loose leaf blends as well that I repotted. The kale is actually going to be moved into these pots once they get a little bit bigger, but they are doing really well, and they, as you can see, they're very leafy and getting taller. So they are happy underneath their growing lights over here. I'm happy to finally have things like repotted into bigger pots, so that way it looks less scattered with all the different size pots and everything. So once the kale moves, they'll be in the matching pots like this. My shelves will look a lot less cluttered. I did decide, since I have empty shelves here, I will be getting more grow lights and installing them underneath here, so that way this entire section of my shelf in my living room will actually have grow lights, and there will be things growing in this, because there's a lot more plants that we have to get started in this growing season, not just the little lettuce ones that are my inside winter experiment. So we'll also have this shelf with grow lights here, and it's gonna look a little crazy with all the cords winding around my shelves, but for me, it's worth it. And that is everything I have to share with you guys in today's gardening video. We're getting so close to gardening season when I actually have to start the seeds. So videos are gonna be kind of sparse while we are getting started because it is winter and obviously I don't have a whole lot of stuff going on outside, but I will give you frequent updates on the lettuce garden. And when we starting seeds, I will definitely be filming more videos about starting the seeds, the things I'm gonna be growing this year, and helping you guys get started as well. So thank you guys so much for watching another gardening video with me, and I will see you guys in the next one.